Dude, you're fine.
Hey guys, welcome to today's video. If you couldn't tell from the intro that today's video is all about the Onewheel pint and my thoughts on it, then I don't know how I missed you, but I'll try and do better in the future, I promise. So I'm really awful about buying things for myself, particularly luxury items. Okay, so not even luxury items. I had a single pair of shoes, wore them every day, and when I need a new pair, I just went and bought another pair of the same shoe. So buying something like this for me that's in that $1,000 range is a little bit scary. So I came up with somewhat of a system that helps me to kind of justify these types of prices and to stop myself from getting buyer's remorse. I'm also gonna break down the Onewheel pint for you. I'm gonna do it from the perspective of a dad and what type of value this has brought to me, not only as a guy who grew up surfing and skateboarding, but as a dad with kids. When there's a mortgage, there's bills to pay, there's rent, there's insurance, there's all this other stuff you've got to think about. But really, truly, and I'll spoil it for you right here, this has been one of the best things I have bought for myself in a really long time. Quick note, I have my brother-in-law Stuart to blame for my new Onewheel addiction. His was actually the first that I rode. Now, he had the XR model. He and my little sister, they're about to embark on just completely living on the road. For Stuart to have this quick little device that he can ride around on or off-road, it just totally makes sense. So anyway, thanks Stuart, you beautiful bearded bastard. I found that the pint was a better fit for me, and I'm gonna go into why here in a couple minutes. Quick shout out to Stuart, the bearded shutter. Here's his photography link on Instagram. He takes phenomenal photos, and he's just an all-around awesome dude. First thing that I did, of course, was I went to Onewheel's website and I started getting some info on what the base cost was for one of these things. I knew they were pretty expensive. I thought they had more model selection out there because I'd seen them in so many different configurations, but really there's just a bunch of customizable parts that you can use to change the color of certain things or add a little bit of additional protection like a fender. Base price was at $950. It has decreased range and a little bit less top speed than the XR model does. Given that I wasn't going to be riding off-road as much, I thought that the smaller size and more rounded tire would fit my situation a little bit better because I'm picturing going on bike rides with the kids, being able to get some cool shots from it. After I realized what the base price was gonna be, I went on this tirade online. I started looking at YouTube and Reddit, really anywhere that I could find any reviews, information. I wanted to know what the smartest accessories were to pick up, as well as like common problems and resale value, just in case I ended up not liking it. So that kind of gets me into this like strategy that I've been using whenever I want to buy something that seems like it's a little bit expensive for myself. Of course, the first step there is research. The second step is going to be to determine if it even fits within the budget or not, especially since it's just for myself. They do offer financing for 50 or 60 bucks a month. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was price to value ratio, because $1,000 is a lot of money, but if it doesn't do anything for you, then what's the point? For me, with my kids wanting to ride their bikes all the time, and I like having them outside in the afternoons, I found myself kind of just standing there while they played or cruising on my phone and not really being all that engaged. Well, this solves that problem for me. It's provided me with more motivation to get them outside because I want to go outside because I want to ride. The value started tipping me further and further toward making the purchase. If it doesn't end up working out and the value add isn't true, you need to be able to bail from the situation and get the most out of it that you possibly can. I found that Onewheels resell online for almost the base price minus tax. I've seen people selling these things with 500 to 800 miles on them for literally 200 bucks less than the base price, and they sell immediately. I was hoping I'd get my value out of it, but if I didn't, that I could get out of it really quickly by turning around and selling it on Marketplace or eBay or something like that and pretty much get my money back. I ended up going with the Ride More bundle from the Onewheel's website. It's their mid-tier package, and the great thing about this is you save about $100 on accessories. You get rail guards to protect the aluminum rails, as well as the fender of your choice that's going to protect your legs, and shoes from all that nasty road debris that tire's gonna kick up. These are absolute day one purchase accessories for everybody, particularly the rail guards, because you're going to bail on this thing, and the rails are pretty soft aluminum. They look super, super nice, and scratching them up's just gonna hurt your resale value. I thought by adding these extra parts from the website would mean that I wouldn't get the standard gray fender delete nor the gray bumpers. I thought it was a direct swap. Totally incorrect, because when the Onewheel got to me, it already had the gray bumpers installed as well as a fender delete. So now I could choose to ride with or without the fender, and I had backup parts because they are plastic. Though they're hard, concrete's gonna chew them up over time and they're not gonna look as good. I did take the time to go ahead and install all these new pieces before I went out for my first ride. Other things that I found during my research: safety gear, huge. You gotta have a brain bucket, gotta have wrist guards. I'm healed up now, but I have had an accident or two, and I tend to catch myself with my hands, so wrist guards are something that everybody should wear so you don't get this. Now, as I'm watching all these YouTube videos of people riding Onewheels, I started noticing some really cool camera work. Like, either they had a buddy following them or a small drone. Something was following them getting these really cool shots, and I couldn't figure out what it was until I started Googling, and it took me to discover 360 cameras. So pretty much all the B-roll of this video is from the 360 cam. The Insta 360 1R is the 360 camera that I thought would work for me. It takes 360 degrees of video, and you choose your framing afterwards. Now, I've ridden this thing for about 35 miles at this point, on grass, on concrete, on the road, on paths. So what do I think about it? It's absolutely one of the best things that I've bought in a long time. Like I said in the intro, it is just fast enough to be really fun. The board has a safety feature built in to where if you were at top speed, the front end of the board will actually rise up a little bit on you. It's a nice tactile heads up that, hey, you're going too fast. You can ride that edge a little bit, get a little bit more out of it, but if you push too hard, you will nosedive and be face down on the concrete. Respect the pushback. It handles like absolute butter on grass. The closest thing that I could think of to describe it is literally fresh powder underneath a snowboard. Down packed dirt paths works just fine. It definitely feels pretty loose riding on anything other than concrete. If you live in a suburban area or downtown, totally go with the Pint here. It's smaller size, lower weight, and it takes under 2 hours to charge. So much fun. Buying myself a Onewheel Pint has given me more motivation to hang out with my kids outside, to take them to the splash pad and ride around while they're playing in the water, to go on those bike rides after work. And Nikki and I have even started taking rides in the evenings after it cools down sometimes, which gives us more time together. Having the 360 camera's done the same thing. More likely to go outside. I can hand the kids the camera, they can get shots that I can clean up in post later and pick the framing. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed, because I have a ton of 360 footage from our vacation to Dollywood recently, and that's going to be the next video. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to make sure that you don't miss the videos that are coming. My name's Brad, I'm a not-so-single dad, and I hope you guys are happy, healthy, and continuing to improve yourself, whether it's buying a Onewheel, whether it's taking your kids to an amusement park. It allows you to become a better dad, a better partner, just better. So if adding a piece of gear like this can actually lend to you spending more time with your kids, there's no excuses. Just get out and do it, guys.